What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Crossover presented by Crossroads Sports. It's your host, Brandon Reef, and Jonathan Birdsong, as always. Thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live. Give us 1 minute here while we share this onto our social platforms for everybody.
Oh, yeah. So everybody can share.
John, how are you, buddy? How was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was, we're going to get into that. My weekend was pretty awesome, man. Got to check out Big Ten.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, Purdue. Sorry, I don't hear no feedback. Got to go down to, what I'm saying, as everybody's going to find out, or everybody kind of knows, we went to go see Purdue play, or we went to go see Texas Christian play Purdue, and with a lot of mixed results that entailed. So my weekend, but overall, my weekend was pretty good.
Okay, good to hear. Yeah, it was fun Saturday, the atmosphere and stuff, and we'll get into the game. Kind of was a snoozer after a certain point. But yeah, overall it was good. It was an interesting Sunday. I went from mourning to shock to sadness.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going through all the stages currently right now. So we'll get into that as well. This week we're chirping, chirp, chirp. We're representing the Ball State Cardinals today.
Representing the alumni, yeah.
So, but everybody that is watching, thanks for joining Crossroads Sports Radio Crossover.
Crossover.
Tomorrow night, we have a interview with Tyler Finnick. Is it Fenwick or Finnick?
Fenwick. Tyler Fenwick from the Indianapolis Recorder. Yes, Tyler Fenwick from the Indianapolis Recorder will be joining us on Conversation. He's the staff writer there. He's a sports staff writer, among other things. But he'll be joining us tomorrow, and in some later shows as well as we, as we progress through. Tyler's a big baseball fan, knows a lot about Major League Baseball, which is maybe he might be able to educate myself, not necessarily you, Brandon, but maybe he might be able to educate me on that. So we're filling a niche that is probably kind of sorely missed here on Crossroads, or even crossover.
We got a cross of everything.
Yeah, so I hope I make sure all Major League Baseball fans, and like I said, we're also gonna be talking some other things with Tyler as well. I think we're gonna talk a little college football as well. But make sure everybody you tune in or call in or log in tomorrow. And like I said, it's gonna be a pretty good show tomorrow as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and dive on in tonight. Give me a second here. We've got. First off, let's talk Colts Titans. I guess it's Sunday afternoon.
That was Sunday.
Ugly game for the Colts a little bit. The elephant in the room was Adam Vinatieri again, missing some key kicks. Colts did have a hell of a drive. T.Y. Hilton, Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby thrown 3 touchdowns. I think he's starting to get in his own rhythm now. A lot more comfort. I think the team's buying in with him. Colts end up with a W leaving Tennessee, and they've been doing that for a while now. So thoughts when you saw that?
Yeah, gritted out a real close victory. I don't want to. We're over to Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck is in our rearview mirror. When you mention Adam Vinatieri and his issues with the kicking, kind of makes you feel like the coach should be 2-0.
Yep.
And then everybody around here is feeling a whole lot better with post Andrew Luck. Post Andrew Luck retirement. So there's definitely a plan. I kind of alluded to this on one of the podcasts, Brandon. Like, this is the Colts team that's kind of built to make. I mean, you don't ever want to lose your star player, receiver, quarterback, running back. You don't ever want to lose your stuff. But this Colts team is kind of built so that it can lose a part and keep on going, keep on functioning. Again, a close game, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 or 101. It doesn't matter if you win. But you know what I'm saying? I get what people are saying when you see the numbers that the Patriots are putting up, or when you see the numbers that the Kansas City Chiefs are putting up, or my goodness, Brandon, do you see the numbers that the Baltimore Ravens are putting up?
And the Dallas Cowboys.
And the Dallas Cowboys. You just kind of wonder, yes, the Colts defense is very good, but can they slow those teams down like that? Because I don't know them about keeping up with them as far as pace on the scoring side. So definitely. I mean, so you feel good. I feel good as a Colts fan coming out of the game. Like I said, you win by 1 or 101, doesn't matter as long as you come out with a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought they played well in the second half. Indianapolis, like I said, I told you earlier, I feel like Jacoby is starting to come its own. Frank's opening the playbook.
Running backs are getting
Running backs are getting yardage.
Yeah, for Colts running backs. How many times have you said that in previous years?
Yeah. Injury concern, Darius Leonard, concussion.
Yeah, he's in the concussion protocol. Yeah.
We'll see if he ends up playing this Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. By the way, that could be a high-scoring game this Sunday. From what we saw Sunday night with Atlanta, who almost tried to give it away, Matty Ice being Matty Frost, as I like to call him.
They're such a Jekyll and Hyde team, man, that you definitely want to be prepared for whatever Atlanta Falcons might show up, high scoring or the dud that they kind of showed in week 1. So
yeah, I guess the biggest thing on Colts fans right now, and you hear all over Colts sports talk radio here in Indianapolis, is Adam Vinatieri. The misses. Should he retire? People are saying, "Yay, this guy should retire. He's playing like crap. He's missing kicks. It's costing us games." Well, it's only cost you 1 for now.
Right.
You are talking to the GOAT of kickers.
Correct.
I think, and I put it on Twitter. My thing is, you let the guy, if he wants it, let him finish out the season, and then you regroup and let him finish the season and see where you go from there.
Right.
It's not physical with him. He can still kick the ball just as fine. I think it's more of that mental block. And when I think of that mental block, the first person I think of, Chuck Knobloch, who played for the Yankees. And he played for the Twins. He got to a point where he was so mentally out of it, he couldn't throw a ball from second base to the first baseman.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it was hit to him, it just went flying over the first baseman's head or went into the ground. He couldn't throw a simple ball from him to the first baseman. And that had nothing to do physical. It was all in his head. We see kickers all the time get in their own heads, and it ends up costing them their career. I don't think Vinny's there. I think it just means more to him now he's in an older age when he does miss his kicks. Does that make sense?
Right. That makes total sense. Total sense.
I think that's more what it is to him. It's bothering him that he's missing kicks at this age when back then he's like, you know what? Hey, I miss a kick. I still got whatever. You know?
It was
now he's starting to question himself like, oh my God, do I still have it?
Right.
So I think we just need to cleanse his soul. A little woo-sob. I think he'll be all right.
Right. It's not like they lost. I mean, again, it's not like they lost the game, this particular game. It had a lot of raw emotion afterwards out of Adam. And you kind of, from a fan's perspective, you kind of appreciate that. Like, a lot of times we think guys, make shots or hit PATs or don't hit them or don't get in the end zone or whatever. And we just think as fans that they decide it's not a big deal. Well, to Adam, this was a big deal.
Yeah.
So, and it has been, like I said, it has been a big deal. Like going on 2 weeks, and if you kind of go back to last year's playoff, but I think they've reevaluated. It probably wasn't fully in Adam's mind to retire anyway. It was just like that raw emotion that I need to get out because I don't want to cost my teammates.
Right.
So he's back. The Colts are,
Let me ask you a question, Colts fans.
Win the South. That's all we got to do is win the South. Everything else to kind of figure itself out.
Who the hell is out there you would want as your kicker besides Adam Vinatieri?
Yeah,
there ain't nothing out there.
Yeah, somebody in college.
I mean, you've seen the problems the Bears went through. They brought, 7 kickers in?
Yeah, they're unsure.
And they couldn't do it. McAfee was injured, couldn't do it.
Right.
So I think you just go with Vinatieri. You see what happens in the draft. I mean, the only other team I think that was worse than that was the New York Jets. New York Jets had a kicker retire after week 1 of preseason. And then they went through 3 other kickers, and now they just signed a guy that played last night that was he was doing a tech startup company before the season started.
Fucking heck out of me. I'm listening.
So, that's my thing. Blair Walsh, Blair Walsh, he was another guy that it just mentally got to him with the Vikings. And I think where his done deed was in that Seahawks-Vikings game back in – what was it, 2000? Mike Taylor, you know this. 2016, I think it was. The evil game. Mike Taylor, just so you know, Jonathan, is a big Vikings fan. So I work with him. So we go back and forth with a lot of Vikings talk.
I just wondered, man, these Colts fans, though, they didn't give Vanderjack this much leeway when he started missing.
They didn't.
They did not give Vanderjack this kind of leeway. So
absolutely.
We'll see how much leeway Adam got left.
Yeah, so Mike says Blair Walsh to the Colts. Maybe next year. I think like I said, they showed total confidence in him. Now, and I heard on the radio this morning, now if something happens, if Adam misses ones that cost him games, he's off the hook for it because now it's on Frank and it's on Chris
for not cutting him.
For not cutting him or not doing something. So the pressure's off on him. Now you just go and kick. And hopefully that's the mental edge that he needs to, put it away. So
Right.
I don't know. Go get a massage. Go do something.
Oh, man.
Take your mind off of him, man. So
he is friends with Bob Kraft.
John. Hey, man, we talked about this last week, I think it was. Last week or 2 weeks. We may have talked about Saturday at Purdue. What's wrong with Cam Newton? The man, they lost another game. What is up with Cam?
They still saying Cam is hurt, and if he is hurt, that kind of got me thinking about Andrew Luck. You know what I'm saying? Because him and Cam had the same. Remember they compared their injuries.
Yeah.
Like how fast Cam came back to versus how fast Andrew didn't come back. Now it looks like Cam came back too fast. So he's still nursing some injuries. Nagging injuries, and again, I don't think he's mentally checked into football. This is about he's mentally checked into his wardrobe. He's mentally checked into his wardrobe and making a fashion statement or having people talk about that more so than are talking about his game. But he is off, and they're not at the point where kind of like the Giants did today and offered up the second, the second option at quarterback, but. He's going to cost somebody to get their job. He's going to cost somebody their job. He won't get benched or he won't get cut or anything like that. But he's going to cost somebody their job. Ultimately.
Justin Powell says fashion over football.
Never.
Fashion over football.
Never.
I might be cutting out. I can't tell. I don't know why. It looks
like
my
a little
screen's
fuzzy.
Blurry. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with it. This internet's fine. It must be Comcast. John, right now, MVP candidate, I guess I got to go with Lamar Jackson. I hate to say it, but he might be the leading MVP candidate.
If we gave out MVPs for the first 2 weeks, man, he'd be tearing it up. He is tearing it up on the ground and in the air. What people questioned that he couldn't do, he's doing, and they're blocking for him. They're blocking good. They're blocking for him, and they're winning games. Somebody can say it's against. It's still NFL talent. I don't care. It's still NFL level talent. You know what I'm saying? Some of those teams might be in the higher in the draft next year. Well, that remains to be seen. But they're, like I said, the Ravens are playing, balls out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this topic, John, may take a few minutes on.
Okay, I gotta move around myself a little bit, just a little bit. Here we go.
So we got Steelers talk. My Steelers. Sunday took on the Seahawks. Start out okay. Ben Roethlisberger obviously gets injured, non-contact with his elbow. It looked bad with it being a non-contact injury. I instantly said on Twitter that that does not look good. If it's an elbow pain like bursitis that you get tennis elbow or some of the pitchers have, like for me, if I throw a baseball and if I sit there and throw now for 35, 40 minutes straight, my arm right at my elbow just starts killing me. Now I know it's probably not as bad as Ben's was, but and I instantly thought Tommy John. And I said, if that's the case, then he's out for the season. And then I said, you got to watch out for that at that point. And then yesterday, maybe 20 minutes after I said that, it came out the news, Ben Roethlisberger having elbow surgery, and it's out for the season. Now, the Steelers have not went and talked about exactly what the injury was, but I'm pretty sure it's Tommy John. And the people I've talked with today are like, oh, my gosh, like he's going to be out 12 to 18 months. Well, that's a baseball pitcher. A baseball pitcher goes out 12 to 18 months based on the way they throw and how violent it is and as many throws as they're doing. They're doing 90 to 120 pitches for their games.
Right.
So with Roethlisberger, you're only throwing 45, 50 times. So your arm is going to heal 6 to 8 months for an NFL quarterback is what I heard. Jake Delhomme was one of the quarterbacks that had that issue. He had it before the Super Bowl run with Carolina. And apparently now they had an interview with him yesterday that his arm is the strongest, his freshest and strongest part of his body is his right arm now from throwing.
Jake Delhomme.
Jake Delhomme.
Okay.
After that. So there is some optimism there. Also, I was worried with Roethlisberger. It was a 3-year deal. He kept talking about retirement. Was he going to return or is he going to retire? Well, he came out with a statement yesterday that said he's committed to the Steelers for the 3 years of the contract, and he wants to come back better than ever and play and win a championship, which I think is amazing and great to say that now. I do think he wants to come back, but I want him to come back. But also, I'm thinking in my head, do we really want him to come back and slow the progress of possibly what Mason Rudolph could be doing? I'm very high on Mason Rudolph. I liked him in the draft 2 years ago when the Steelers got him.
I think the Steelers are high on him.
Yeah, he was my top quarterback in the draft. I said the Indianapolis Colts should draft him. That was back when Andrew Luck was out for the season, and it was going to end up being Brissett. But I said they should go out and draft Mason. He's got the best NFL prototype ready body. He had the best rocket arm. He played at Oklahoma State. He was just throwing the ball. Look up Mason Rudolph touchdown highlight tapes. It's amazing for the guy. Mm-hmm. But I'm committed to him. I think he's going to do great. He played, 35 minutes of football in the second half. Played all right. 2 touchdown passes, 119 yards. He faked a fake spike and threw to his first touchdown to Vance McDonald. I think he'll be good. I think he just needs more reps with the first team. They liked him. Right. The only problem I have is Seattle never planned to play against Rudolph, so they didn't scout him at all. Now you're going to start seeing teams scout against them, and you're going to see then how Mason is going to see that and adapt.
Right.
I think he's heads and shoulders better than the trash situation you saw last night with the New York Jets with their quarterback situation.
Right.
But I was hurt. I was shocked. I felt it coming with Ben. It's going to be weird. Normally he's out and he comes back. Right, but now, second week of the season, you're like, he's gone for the entire season. But I'm all on the board of the Mason Rudolph train. It's hashtag Mason Rudolph season. I'm ready. Let's see what we can do. The pressure's off for us Steeler fans. Like I said, I think we're 5 to 6 wins based on that. But the Steelers are high on because they just went out last night and got the Miami Dolphins #1 draft pick from last year.
Right.
So at free safety, which is somewhere they needed to improve. I'll let you talk to me. I'm getting there.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, you kind of stole my thunder there.
And
by the trade.
Let me finish one. I got my last statement.
Go ahead.
My last statement. I'm sorry. Everybody listening to me probably. My last statement on the Steelers. You can tell they're committed to Mason Rudolph, and they're still committed this season based on them going out and getting this safety. Spending a first-round draft pick in 2020 on this guy. They needed to sew up the secondary. They've done that. Some people's concern is, well, it's a first-round draft pick. You guys could just suck this year and got a better pick. That's true. We could have. But this just shows they're in it to win it. They want to try to see what they can do this year. Regardless, next year, we still needed to get a better secondary, no matter what. So if you can address it now and get a first-round pick that a team that's selling everybody off, why not get it? I applaud the trade. Some people did, some people didn't. A lot of the insiders liked it, so I'm on board as well.
You want Jalen Ramsey too?
No. No.
I just asked.
No. Scott Lambert, I do not want Jalen Ramsey.
I didn't know how much of the future they did.
You know what? I heard the perfect analogy about Jalen Ramsey today. If you got poop and you put it in a bucket of poop, what do you have? You have poop, right? If you have poop in a hand and a scoop of ice cream in another, and you put the poop in the ice cream, what do you have? You still have poop. That's Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, man. Okay, anyway. No, man. back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They show strong commitment on who they believe in at quarterback because, we know the names that are potentially going to come out next year from in the draft. But, yeah, they're all in, whether – that means they finish, I don't know, with 7 wins or 5 wins. That's what the Steelers are kind of comfortable with this year. They're a team that's definitely, still going to be built upon defense, and they like I said, they addressed it in the trade. So I'm probably not as optimistic as you are for them to win like 9 or 10 games or something.
Oh,
like that.
I didn't say they'd win 9 or 10.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. But you can't that fan base doesn't like, man, all of football doesn't believe in tanking. It shit doesn't. Usually the fan bases don't believe in tanking. Nobody believes in
The
tanking.
Miami Dolphins
Except
should.
for the Miami Dolphins this year. And good luck if it works out with them. You know what I'm saying? As far as what they're accumulating. You know what I'm saying? You still got to put the team together. But from a fan standpoint, as I always look at it, like your team's trying to win still. And like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers it's something that just like all the class organizations. I know I'm gonna get in trouble. Reggie Sykes are notable trolls gonna say how can you call the Steelers a class organization? Well, usually class organizations have a plan that's set in place, like a contingency plan if something like this kind of happens. So Steelers are, I think they might have came up with the blueprint. When you talk about Tommy Maddox back in the day, when on the tear that he had when the quarterback went down. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Dude, 7 wins out of that division. They can still win 7 wins.
Yeah,
7.
I agree. I think I heard Ryan Clark, who's a former Pittsburgh Steeler, who's always on ESPN. I think he said it best last night. This is a gut check for Mike Tomlin because now he actually has to coach the quarterback. He can't just say, Ben,
Right.
go out and adjust and on the fly and make your own things. He's going to have to coach now. Randy Fichtner, the offensive coordinator. This is only your second year, Fichtner, as the offensive coordinator. Before that, it was Todd Haley. Not the defensive back.
Charles Haley.
That was a Jonathan Birdsong moment I just had there.
That's okay.
So it's up to Randy Fichtner now to make sure that the game plan is set for him. And it's also time, and it seemed like everybody is buying in with it. Juju Smith-Schuster, James, here's my second year, but James Washington and Mason Rudolph were teammates at Oklahoma State. So that's one thing to watch. The increase for James Washington's uptake this year. It's time for Moncrief to go. He had 5 drops in week 1. He had 1 target yesterday, and it bounced right off his hands, or 2 days ago. Bounced right off his hands and went for an interception. And the Steelers were driving. So Moncrief, it's time to kick the rocks, pound sand, wherever you want to call it. It's time to go. I stole that one, pound sand. But no, it's we're gonna be okay, fellow Steeler fans. I had a nice little video on Twitter the other night, or the other day. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday. All my days running together, but I think we're okay. The pressure's off. I'm excited to see what Mason can do, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm ready. So
embrace it. Embrace the change.
Oh yeah, it hasn't happened often for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so it's uncharted territory.
Yep.
Let's go to the other quarterback injury. Drew Brees out 6 to 8 weeks. Decided to have surgery on the thumb. The Saints-Rams game was kind of a dud after he got hurt. But now you got Teddy Bridgewater. I think it's the same thing with Mason Rudolph's situation. Sean Payton and them are going to get Teddy set to what Teddy's does best and what he doesn't do best, and they're going to tend to, develop that game plan around him. But also on the other hand, these other teams now are going to start prepping for Teddy.
Right.
I think Teddy's a decent quarterback. I think the Saints can still win. I think if you give them 6 games, I haven't seen their schedule, but I think they can at least win 3, half of them.
Yeah.
Based on talent.
The dynamic, the thought process in the Saints' mind, it definitely changed up. They were probably thinking week 1 and much of the preseason and during their preparation, but going to the Super Bowl. Now we all know. I always preach the Super Bowl it's not a 50-yard dash. It's not a 100-yard dash. It's a marathon. Like to get through the season is a marathon. You gotta get through December. You gotta get through November. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get through. You know what I'm saying? This the first 2 weeks of injury. Like how many people were out? So they could potentially get Drew Brees back. They could potentially get Drew back and make a run and make have another what I'm saying kind of like how the Broncos had one. This win for John moment back, and so you could potentially see that. But then there's a lot of good teams that's ahead. I mean, they would need somebody else to get hurt in order for that. They didn't need to have the perfect scenario. That's what I'm trying to say. In order for Drew Brees to miss a big chunk of the season like that, and then come back and then hope that he can just somehow turn it on like that. We all know Drew Brees, outside of maybe I'm trying to think who's still playing. I think he has better accuracy than Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he's better quarterback. But I think he has better accuracy than Aaron Rodgers.
Isn't that crazy? Aaron Rodgers is probably, if you name your top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now, Aaron Rodgers is not one. Isn't that crazy?
Well, if you would name your top 5, not me.
He's not playing like a top 5 quarterback.
Well, they're still winning. Well,
the top 5 quarterback currently right now.
You're bleeding into like last year too.
No. I'm talking this year. I can name 5 quarterbacks better than him right now. This season.
Go for it.
Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Tom Brady. Number 3, Dak Prescott. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5. Garoppolo or Jared Goff. Take your pick, I guess.
Garoppolo's playing well.
He is playing well.
They play some dusty teams, but he's playing well.
So,
but like I said, man, the New Orleans Saints, they kind of got to change their mindset.
Reggie says the Aints is what he calls them.
Yeah, they got to change their mindset.
Hey, here's the thing about the Saints. I still think they're, even with him out, they're not going to go anywhere in the division. You don't have to worry about it. Tampa Bay's nothing.
Yeah,
the Panthers aren't anything. The Falcons, are shaky. They're only good at home.
Right.
So I think the Saints are okay.
Win your division.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And they got the playmakers still with Kamara, Michael Thomas, Ted Ginn, Traquan Smith, and then that defense. So I think they're okay. Nothing to worry about there. Jalen Ramsey wants out of Jacksonville. John, we are in an era now where athletes, if they want out, they voice it and they get traded or released in any sport now. This is a slippery slope, my friend, that it's developing really, really bad. And I think the 4 leagues, well, I'll take it back. Baseball doesn't have to deal with this. Maybe lesser hockey. But I know basketball and football need to address this in the future with these collective bargaining agreements on displeasures for players. If anything, I can see that limited contracts to maybe 1 or 2 years.
Well, the NFLPA ain't gonna go for that. They don't want that because that's not necessarily in the best interest of the players. I think NFL guys are kind of taking a cue from the NBA guys. Again, the NBA, it's never going to be, the NBA and the NFL is never going to be a parallel mirror vision of one another. It's just not, as much as NFL guys are going to want it. So these guys can path their way, ask for demands for trades or whatnot. And NFL is going to either maybe trade you, but it's going to be on their terms, to their benefit, or they'll sit you because they know they can, and then you have to play the weight game like Le'Veon and AB did last year with Pittsburgh, trying to hardball, hardball a team. So I don't know. Good luck. It might be a mutual divorce. You know what I mean? He's a big mouth, and they're kind of not wanting to be a big mouth. They're kind of not wanting to be a big mouth kind of team. So maybe it'll be a mutual. I don't know what right now, like what you could get for him. That would have been something you wanted to address during draft time.
Right.
So.
This next one I have, John, I'm typing it. I'm getting this set up right now for you.
Okay.
I know you're going to have a lot to say with it. John, are the Browns overrated? As I said, beginning of the season?
Very much so. There was a big love affair this morning when I opened up my social media. There's a big love affair for them, but like there's still a lot of mistakes that they made. They just played a lesser team in the Jets last night. Do not get fooled by the what is that? He's at 89 yards. Odell Beckham Jr. did. Do not get fooled by that. Do not get fooled by trying to think some other highlights, but because they had so many penalties on their defense last night. So do not get fooled. When they play a real team, a Patriots, okay, then let me know what happened when they play the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Because again, playing the Patriots, everybody should be trying to win, right? But play against a team that's on the rise for real. Cleveland, it looks good because they like to talk to the media and it's chit chatter and it's back and forth and it's drama. And again, it feels like something that these guys are taking cues away from the NBA. But I tell you right now, like NBA guys got games they can blow, mess around. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? NFL, you do not have games to blow. If you have 16 games, every game counts. You need to get, you know what I mean? So because when you talk about home field advantage, or if you're talking about Yeah, home basically, if you're talking about home field advantage, if you're trying to make it to the playoffs, every game counts. So I don't know. I just still can't see Cleveland being like this 12-4 juggernaut that everybody said was going to come to your town and whoop you. You know, I just don't see it. They're like they're not as good on paper or what you've seen on the screen. They're not as good as Baltimore. On paper of what you've seen in the screen, they'll probably split a game with Cincinnati. On paper of what you've seen in the screen, if the Colts had to play him, I would say the Colts would be in with their no names except for maybe T.Y. Hilton, like I'm saying as far as with the media, but we would beat them because again they have a lot of holes and deficiencies. They have a lot of stars and standouts. They just don't have they just don't have it all together just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They blamed their own hype, obviously, going into the season, and it looked like Baker was pressing, and he's digressed. I think I hate to say it's only a 2 games window, but it's the New York Jets. I mean, come on. There was passes being dropped. There was, and I hate to say it, Booger McFarland, who was one of the worst ESPN commentators of all, he said it perfectly that Greg Williams just toyed with Baker Mayfield on the defense. He showed one thing and went another thing. And you could see it every play. And the fact that the Browns never picked up it. I've always said this. The Browns' greatest weakness isn't the players, isn't the fan base. It's the coach. Freddie Kitchens is not the right coach for the Browns. If they had a different coach in there, this team could be.
They just got him.
He's not the right guy. You think an offensive coordinator, offensive line coach should be leading the faces of Odell Beckham?
Right. Well, that is those are some colorful personalities.
They need to get a face in there that can actually match all that personality and can actually run a good offense. Freddie Kitchens, the last offense I think he ran was back when he was playing a quarterback for Alabama.
Oh man, you went back that far.
Yeah. I mean, it's just he's not the right coach for that team. Yeah, they should hire Chris Burchard. Yeah, Burchard thinks he knows everything for it, but he's a big Browns fan, John. But
Okay.
No, I think they got to find their guy. I never was a fan of the Freddie Kitchens hire. I don't know who I could have said to go in there and take it, but I don't even know if Matt LaFleur, I don't know if he's a good coach for the Packers. There was talks about him and Aaron Rodgers not getting along, and Aaron Rodgers now having to wear a wristband just to get the plays off in time. Yeah, that's a concern.
Everybody's on, like, it feels like everybody in Green Bay, some of us are on page 10 and some of us are on page 16. Mm-hmm. And that's cool because we're all kind of going the same direction, but we're not on the same page. So there's going to be, I feel like there's going to be more sparks to fly between their relationship. It just is. Because the coach wants one thing and probably, you know what I'm saying, he's the coach. But this is Aaron Rodgers. He's got the Super Bowl. He's got the contract. He's got the fan base. So it's going to be hard. Yeah.
One thing, and the only thing I like about rookie head coaches is that they get a shot, and you're not sitting there recycling the same damn coaches. R.I.P. Denny Green. He's not getting his 20th stint with a team. You don't have I'm trying to think of some old trash coaches as well. Jim Mora's getting their third shot at another team. You know, Jim Mora Jr., you name them. You're not getting these hits. You got rookie coaches, and you get them with these veteran quarterbacks, they're probably going to get some clashing. If I remember right, didn't Peyton Manning and Jim Mora, didn't they clash that first year?
Just a little bit. It never made no media waves like they make right now, but yeah.
Well, it was a different era as well back then.
Correct.
There was no social media with that back then. But now, the other thing, everybody has a beer with Sean McVay. Now, everybody wants to be the next Sean McVay when it comes to quarterbacking, and not everybody can do that. Sean McVay, that guy's got a brain like nobody. He can remember plays from certain games. I watched a video the other day. He was giving plays from 4 years ago in the middle of the season at a certain time.
He's got a beautiful mind.
Thoughts on Sean Payton get a 4-year extension? Good for the Saints?
That dude's gonna be. He's not going anywhere, whether Drew Brees is there or not. He's not going anywhere.
And how bad do the refs hate New Orleans that they screwed him again on a play?
Man, That's just unfortunate. That's just unfortunate set of circumstances, man. They
Yeah.
keep on not getting on the benefit of the side of a good call.
That
But
John Carty, I think it's Carney, whoever it is, used to be a big NFL referee, head referee. He's got the cushiest job now where he can just go with NBC on Sunday nights, do 4 segments throughout the game, and he's getting paid. He doesn't get to get yelled at anymore. NFL referees, man, it's a hard job. I mean, you can't get the Hockley brothers or the father-son to sit there and procreate more Hockleys, and you can't get Gene Steratore to sit there and do more football games.
right.
With him doing college basketball too, and then the announcers booth. These guys are doing pretty much the best guys are officiating until they get that big TV gig, and that's what everybody wants, that TV cush gig. And you're not starting any drama. You're doing your own thing, and yeah. So I mean, the refereeing, we're going to sit there and talk about it all season, how bad it is, and such. But I guess you take it with what it is, I guess, right?
It's only bad when your team doesn't get the benefit of the call.
Yeah, true. Speaking of getting the benefit of the call, that's what I call a great segue, people.
Ding dong.
John, the New England Patriots are rolling. Defense has stepped up this year, especially since last season. If you think about the Super Bowl, only giving up the points, 3 points, I think, to the Rams, they look unbeatable. Before the season, they were my pick to win the title because until somebody can freaking beat them in the AFC, I'm going to keep taking them to the Super Bowl as my pick because nobody's been able to prove they can beat them.
You know, I know I'm going to be talking outside of my neck, man.
Oh boy,
we're wanting Andy Reid to finally, get out of his own shadow. But that's the best team that's going to be able to beat the Patriots. That's the best team that's going to be able to beat the Patriots. They got the offense. They can probably keep up. They can definitely keep up with them. And when it comes to defense, their defense is going to probably get tested. Kansas City's defense is probably going to get tested for sure.
They need to score every possession.
Correct.
Every possession.
But as it is right now, and help, your crazy self said Gronk might come back because
he's coming back.
He's out here talking about his what's names are getting cured. His concussions has been cured with CBD oil.
Yeah.
So imagine if that's actually factual, and he actually does come back. I don't think he's coming back, but regardless, the Patriots are a buzzsaw. Still.
You hate to say it.
Yeah, I do. I don't want to say it. Can we talk about something else?
And then that scumbag Antonio Brown back in the news again. Few things. Another sexual assault charge, or not charge, but accusation. And then something today happened as well with Antonio Brown. So with some kind of business deals or something. So this guy just can't stay out of the news. The Patriots, now they're hearing about these illegal business deals or whatever's going on. I didn't read it too much into it. I just saw the headline. But you got to think, some people are like, well, do you think they think they overthink they're bringing him in? I don't. I think they're going to get him, use him as much as you can, see what benefit you get from it, and move on. That's what they've done with players before in the past.
Right. That's absolutely what they're going to do. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, speaking of the good, now the bad, the Miami Dolphins, we talked about everybody getting ran out of there. Another guy wants to get out of there. I just saw this morning on my way to work. They've been outscored 102-10 in the first 2 games of the season. You got 102 points. That's 51 per. And now they just traded their first round pick from last year to the Steelers. If this doesn't smell like tanking, and it doesn't look like tanking, then I don't know what the hell tanking is. But they did this before the season started. Most teams wait until the middle of the season or so. What's your thoughts on the Dolphins?
It's definitely not a good look, and I'm hoping it's nothing that anybody wants to like carbon copy and try to do, because we all know this league, all these leagues are carbon copy. It's just kind of like I said, kind of from they're willing to. It just leaves a bad taste, and not just if you're a Dolphins fan, but an NFL fan. Period. It just kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth because they're actually not trying. They want to lose. They want to go 0-12 instead of going not 0-12. They went 12. This is a team that went 12-0 one time. They want to go 0-16 or win, or you know what I'm saying, so that they can have as many draft picks from Alabama and Clemson and everywhere combined. Like that's the cure all. That's not a cure all though, Brandon. Just because said quarterback at USC or said quarterback at Clemson or said quarterback at Florida. I'm not picking on those particular, but I can think of like one quarterback from each of those schools that was a Heisman or who was either a Heisman Trophy winner or in the Heisman lineup or who had All American written all over him. When they got to the league, it didn't pan out. You know, uh, to that accord. You have to build a team in the trenches. Defensive, you need to have linebackers. You need to have offensive linemen. This is what building trenches. Then you get a quarterback. Then you get all the fancy pieces. So I just hope that with this tanking situation that their fan base is patient. It's obvious that they are, but I also hope that whoever's the architect of this team kind of knows what they're doing. Because again, just because you put two college All Americans on a roster and you got two first rounders or whatever that they might be getting in, does not guarantee you overnight success to be back to be back to in the playoffs or to a Super Bowl. It doesn't.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And the Dolphins. I've always said I think they're tanking the wrong year. Are they stupid enough to think Trevor Lawrence is coming out this year?
Yeah, he's not coming out. Trevor, yeah.
But I have a hot take on Trevor Lawrence, John.
What you got?
Trevor Lawrence has already thrown more interceptions than he threw all last year. I think he's digressing.
Well, stop.
And they've played a cupcake schedule.
Oh, I won't doubt that. I won't doubt that. But they won't be playing a cupcake schedule come January.
No, because that's when the season really starts for them. They got 8 bye weeks coming up. Speaking of that, do you have anything else on the NFL before we go switch gears to college football?
No, if I do, we'll just kind of save it for later. I mean, for tomorrow because we'll be on tomorrow, and I'm sure something else will remind me about it tomorrow.
Absolutely. So let's go right into college football. Let's start with the ugly game, Purdue TCU. John, first trip up to Ross-Ade and Purdue University in a while for you. Kind of talk your thoughts when we were heading on up there.
Man, so you know what I'm saying, got to absorb a lot. We got to run into the Purdue coaching staff, Coach Brantley, and Coach Painter, who gave us a little bit of a hard time. Who gave us a hard time on some of our picks. I won't talk about it because I don't want to expose Coach Painter's team for what it is. But it was like when we got up there, that's kind of some of the first people kind of greeted us very warmly. We were saying the campus.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Coach Painter right there.
Yeah, the campus of Purdue is, if you haven't ever been there, it's real nice, real big, real spacious. They have like a whole network, seemingly to get people to and from the game, to make sure everybody's informed of like where you can go, where you can't go. Even with our media passes, they were still out there interacting with staff. I mean, that's with fans and students alike. It's just a real. It's just a real warm. It was really a real warm experience, for a sports experience. It really was. We got to walk through a little bit of the tailgate area, which not too many rowdies there. There was a lot of Texas, believe it or not, Crossroads fans, crossover fans. There was a lot of Texas Christian tailgaters that came up from Texas and they were rocking their purple and white, but not too rowdy of a crowd at all. Matter of fact, they had a lot of technical, people that had like their home theater pumping out of their cars, and they had some guy pimped out his 18 medical vehicle to make it a tailgate party. He had like a barbecue pit in an ambulance. Man, it's crazy.
Hey, so, you liked the golf cart, right?
Yeah,
the golf cart rides.
So again, man, like it's a lot that goes on even before the game kind of starts, and then the game kind of starts, and then I don't think Purdue was necessarily ready. Quite honestly, starting quarterback was out. Starting linebacker, standout linebacker, is out for the season. They had some other notable injuries, which kind of made Plummer the second. If everybody doesn't know, Jake Plummer's son plays for Purdue as well. But it kind of let him. He's very well. He's a redshirt freshman, and he's got an arm. He's definitely got an arm that you can see. He's definitely got some accuracy. But like when the wheels of when to run and when to make a play, kind of like how we all remember Jake Plummer from being. It's not necessarily in his arsenal just yet. What I took from the game was Texas Christian came up there. Who knows? I'm sure they came with a plan, but when they came up, they probably utilized all facets of their offense, meaning their wideouts and their tight ends. But that didn't happen because their running backs and their quarterback were running option. Just kind of ran over Purdue. They have I thought the team from a size standpoint were pretty much equal. I thought Texas Christian was the quicker team, as they have a standout wideout. What's that? Reger? That's the last name. Yes, it's Reger, who's probably going to be ProFootball.com got him in the first round, going to the Ravens.
He didn't look like a first round talent against Purdue.
Well, I don't think he's the first round. He does. You can kind of see the speed though, but like he was kind of kept calm. He was he was kept under wraps all game. He is the next level talent where you think the first round talent or second round talent. That'd be another debate for another time. But he was kept under wraps. But what was, like I said, as I said prior, what wasn't kept under wraps was the fact that the offensive line of Texas Christian just pushed over the defensive line of Purdue, and they had like 300 plus rush yards at the start of the second quarter. Those are awesome numbers, and they had less than 100 yards passing.
75, I think it was.
75.
Well, I told you. I go, John. It's been about 30 plays since they threw a pass.
Yeah. The first couple minutes, like I said, everything looked kind of equal, and then as the game progressed, the conditioning and the condition of the Texas Christian, their offensive line, and Purdue having to kind of like put piecework the game plan together, it kind of showed, and Texas Christian took advantage.
What was the line what was the word you like to use all night? Is that Texas Christian running back was problematic.
That's very problematic, man. So when he makes both, he makes the first defender miss, and then he breaks the tackle of the second defender. Like, there's nothing else. There was nothing else out there to stop him except for open field and the referee.
And the other guy, 33, looked like a bowling ball out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it before the game. You said this dude's going to be an issue because he wasn't that tall, but he was just solid buff, like 250, 260.
Yeah. Texas Christian is slotted in to finish like fourth in the Big 12. Quite honestly, I think Purdue kind of kept in the secondary. Like I said, they kept him. There was not a lot of passes thrown.
Yeah.
So, but the rush game, you would have thought Emmitt Smith and Edgerrin James were out there
together.
How much Purdue got ran up on. So there's definitely something. I think I keep on saying Purdue will be fine, but now we have to with the quarterback. The quarterback will be back. Starting quarterback will be back, but we have to probably reevaluate where we got Purdue at finishing. It's probably not going to be middle pack the Big Ten.
I agree. Thoughts on that press box? That was new the last couple of years, about 3 years old now. Thoughts on that press box?
I thought it was pretty neat. Looks, I don't like to comment on the press box, man.
Come on now.
They all look good to me. The press box that we were in was real nice. Got that nice smooth wood or whatever.
But the food, the catering. Come on, the catering is top notch. Let's go.
I was getting to it, man. The food, and we got the little hobnob a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You have to remain professional when you see somebody that's somebody from ESPN or whatever. You don't want to be like a little girl. Oh man, that's Mike. That's awesome. So, but we got to see some scouts. I'm not gonna name drop because I don't believe in that. But we got to see some scouts from various teams. We got to see some other notables from Purdue, some bodies or whatnot. And as Brandon alluded to, yes, the food spread that they gave us on Saturday, it was a full nacho bar, plus sodas, any soda that you kind of wanted, plus they had
ice cream.
They had sausages and hot dogs.
Heaven.
Yeah, heaven. You can have
popcorn.
Yeah. I forgot the popcorn too. Yeah. So they take good care of their media folk, and we are appreciative of it. Believe it.
Absolutely, it was great. We're hoping to get back up there for another game this year. I at least want to try to get to one more before this season's up there, which I think right now the one I have on my slate, John, is the last one, Purdue and Indiana for the Old Oaken Bucket.
Oh man,
So,
I gotta go wild for that. I gotta wear my IU shirt.
you might not be allowed in that press box then. All right, let's take a wrap around the Big Ten. Big Ten had a bad week. We thought they were the strongest conference in college football, and this past week they had a bad showing.
Illinois lost. Some of the bottom, I won't call them bottom feeders, but some of
Minnesota almost lost.
Yeah, Minnesota almost lost. Some of the bottom
Iowa
teams,
almost lost.
Middle teams. Well, that was the rivalry game, but it had lightning advisory, so it took like 7 hours to play. But yeah, they almost lost. But yeah, some of the smaller teams that we still think should be able to beat a mid-major school or a school that's maybe lesser than a school that they put on their schedule to come to play a home game for them. Yeah, couple big teams lost. So it kind of looks like it's a 2-horse race with the Big Ten. Michigan State. Well, as I said, we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But Michigan State, that's a bad loss, losing to. And we all love Herm. Hello, we all love Herm, right? But Arizona State should never be in the same class or
from a Big Ten team.
Yeah, with the Big Ten team, especially Michigan State.
Yeah, I totally 1,000 agree. There was a comment from my stepmom, the Captain Crunch box in the background. I like that. Beautiful. Nice sponsorship plug. Yeah. Another thing was, Ohio State, Indiana. The Hoosiers have always kept it close in the past, but this ain't that typical Ohio State team coming down to Bloomington. I think IU fans were hoping that the Ohio State people would get stuck on 37 and all that traffic, but Ohio State came out, punched them in the mouth after the first quarter.
Yes.
And Ohio State still looks very strong. Justin Fields looks strong as well. Right. So they keep rolling. I'm not sure. I think Indiana plays, UConn this week. So that should be an easy win for the Hoosiers at home.
Get back to their win.
Purdue's got a bye week, which is going to be good for them, I think. I think they have a bye week. Either that or they play Minnesota. I can't remember. I think they play Minnesota next week. But Sindelar should be back for that. Marcus Bailey still be out for Purdue. John, the shocker that I seen, because you know how I like to gamble and I look at the odds for the week and all that. Mm-hmm. The first thing that took my mind was we got Michigan at Wisconsin this week, and Wisconsin's favored by 3 points.
Jim Harbaugh has to win. Jim Harbaugh is not playing that game, but Jim Harbaugh has to win that game. They have to win that game. They have to win that game.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, thanks, Herman. Yeah, 2-loss Big Ten team is not going to the championship.
So I was shocked to see Michigan not favored for that game. And I know Wisconsin's good. And we already know what type of football game the Wisconsin Badgers are going to play. Mm-hmm. It's going to be that grinded out, just like Army did against Michigan. Mm-hmm. It's going to be that grinded out run game with little dump passes on the quarterback. So upset alert, and it's a minor upset, but Michigan, you got to watch out for that upset alert this week. So, John, I've got our picks for the week for us to go through. Last week, John, you went 5-2. I went 4-3. You're 14-5 overall. I'm 12-7 in our picks. These are straight up picks. We did not do spreads because John doesn't like doing spreads. I like doing spreads. I put my picks for my spreads out every week for you to take. Make yourself a little bit of cash from it, since betting is legal in Indiana now. First picks, John, I got for us this week. Tennessee, the Vols got back on track with the win. Tennessee at number 9 Florida, or used to be number 9 Florida. I don't know if they're still number 9, but Florida, but no Felipe Franks, who got destroyed by that injury.
I still like Florida.
I do too. I think the Gators find a way to win that game and move on. The Ball State Cardinals had a rough loss last week to Florida Atlantic. Lane Kiffin up in Muncie. Cardinals travel to NC State. Do the Cardinals have a shot?
They all got a shot to get on the field, but NC State's probably a little bit too big for them.
Absolutely. I
gotta go
agree.
with
Coach Ellison, cover your ears. I've got NC State as well in that one. Number 11, Michigan. At number 13, Wisconsin. The big one, John, I'm going Michigan on this because Harbaugh can't afford to lose this game.
You going Camp Jim on us, man. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
Okay. We've got UConn and Indiana. I think it's Indiana and a laugher. I think you would say the same thing.
Not a laugher, but I got Indiana.
Okay. Number 8, Auburn, who I think is overrated, an overrated Auburn team. I think LSU is way better than Auburn.
Okay.
Auburn, number 8, at number 17, Texas A&M.
Not a believer in Jumbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher.
Jumbo. I think that was an elephant, wasn't it? Jumbo?
Yeah. No, Dumbo. That's Dumbo.
Oh.
I like Auburn.
I took Auburn as well. I think Auburn gets it done at sorry, 12th man. Is that what they call him out there? I think. Gig'em. Gig'em's a thumbs up. That's what they do. That's their thing. Oklahoma State 3-0 at Texas 2-1. The best mullet in football. Gundy out there at Oklahoma State. Boom picking himself.
Texas.
Whoa, you're going Texas.
Texas.
All right. So I want to go think about this. I've got Oklahoma State 3-0. Tom Herman trying to get the Texas boys back on track. Oklahoma State's biggest donor just died last week. They came back and got a nice win. They covered the spread. They're going to Texas to take on Texas. As much as I want to take them, I got to go Longhorns. I think Texas wins this game, but it is a shootout. So be prepared. Take the points. Take the over. Cool. And then the big game of the week, number 7, Notre Dame at number 3, Georgia. John, your pick.
Georgia's a little bit too athletic, a little bit too fast for Notre Dame. Sorry, Golden Domers, man. I'll be with you the rest of the year, I promise you, but they won't beat Georgia.
Okay. And I will take Georgia as well to win this game in a laugher. Georgia blowout win over Notre Dame. At least 14 points.
Well, there goes our South Bend media credentials.
Well, they already declined me. So they're already on the shit list the way it is up in Notre Dame. So, but yeah, 14 points. Notre Dame gets routed down in Athens between the hedges. So I know I hate to do it to them, but somebody's got to do. By the way, ticket prices, I looked them up. A ticket for the game in Athens this weekend, $611, right? The big game in SEC football, $611. How much of a difference is it for a Big Ten football game, Michigan versus Wisconsin? You can get a good seat there, close up, $184. So $500 difference between Big Ten football and SEC football. So, trophy case and trash, John, which we do on the radio show, my segments, teams that are college football in the trash, and then teams that are in the trophy case. Trophy case this week, I don't have anybody. Nobody gets added to the trophy case. Nobody did anything really impressive for me this week. But trash, you better make some room in that trash can. I got the whole Big Ten conference in the trash right now after their performance this past weekend, besides Ohio State. So Big Ten, you're in the trash now. You can come back out maybe if you guys improve. But after last week's performances, the Big Ten conference in the trash.
Man, it's harsh.
Couple quick hitters that I have, John. NHL preseason has started. The Blackhawks, my team, lost first game last night, so hockey's getting started back up with preseason. Blackhawks going to the Stanley Cup, and we're going to cover them this year with it. Get your hockey knowledge, John. And, John, we are 17 days away from the Pacers' first preseason game. 17 days already.
Miles Turner.
Oof, don't get me started. Don't get me started on Miles. SEC speed. I told you, anytime Notre Dame plays speed, sorry, not to get off that. Anytime they play speed, it's over for Notre Dame. It's going to be a rout. They're done. It's over.
It's not gonna be a wrap.
But the Pacers, 17 days away. I saw another video of Oladipo looking good. John, as much as he's looking good, I think the Pacers still take it very easy with Oladipo and they ease him back into it.
Yeah.
I think we might get a nice little Christmas present and have him back close to Christmas.
Yeah. Even if they go on like which I don't foresee. Even if they go on like somewhat of like a losing streak of 4 or 5 games, like don't just automatically put Oladipo in. It's not even October over yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, he'll be a slow work in for sure. Round about a little bit after Christmas, maybe even dipping into New Year.
Yep. I know Crossroads Nation, I like to call them. They're really wanting us to get into those Pacers, get into that access down there. So John's going to try to work us in some 125 Pennsylvania Avenue, try to get us in down there.
We got to get there.
So we'll get there. John, any final things tonight before we go? We did an hour tonight. We're going to do about an hour tomorrow night on the radio. So tune into that. Crossroads Sports Radio. The link will be up. I'll send the bat signal out here shortly for tomorrow with our special guest, Tyler Fenwick. Fenwick is going to join us from the Indianapolis Recorder. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk the trash of the Big Ten football currently that's going on. Any last things, man?
No, man, I don't want to spoil nothing for tomorrow, man. We'll have great conversations tomorrow. I appreciate everybody watching on. I appreciate everybody commenting tonight. If anybody wants to call in tomorrow, hit the number. I'll put it up. It'll be up on my Facebook page. It'll be up on my Twitter as well. Listen, tomorrow, like I said, it's a new era. With this, we have somewhat of a partnership with the Indianapolis Recorder now. Tyler Fenwick's going to come on and chop it up with me and Brandon. Probably from here on out till they get sick of us. But it's gonna be a real fun time. It's gonna be a real blast. We'll still also have our going further. We still have our special guests that come onto our show, listen to the podcast and be wanting to hear. We just won't necessarily have one tomorrow. But keep tuned, and like I said, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.